I'm Lost Son Jim, and welcome to Jim's Comic Corner. Sorry I've been away for so long. It's been a busy time. As you can see, we've had a bit of an upgrade. Brilliant. But also my podcast has had a bit of an upgrade and has become an entire site dedicated to pop culture stuff. So all my videos that you see here on my YouTube channel can all be found over at www.stackonline.co.uk. And it's not just my stuff, we've got a whole bevy of things. We've got reviews, we've got views, we've got other unboxings, we've got podcasts galore, we've got a little bit of everything over there. So if you like my videos and you like this stuff, head over there, check it out, you won't be sorry. But let's get back to comics. Now, the last time I saw you, which was, I don't know, ages ago, you're looking good by the way, I said that the next comic I was going to do was X-Men Days of Futures Past. And I sat down and I read that, and I love that story, it's brilliant. But something I realised when I was reading it is that being a DC fan, I know, I'm not just a DC fan, I'm a comics fan in general, but I know a lot about Marvel. But I don't know as much as I do about DC. And as I was reading it, there were some characters that I was like, I don't really know much about their history or their past and stuff. And I was like, you know what, I like to give you guys as much information as I can. So I've decided to change gears a little bit on this Comic Corner part of my YouTube and of stackonline.co.uk. And I'm just going to do DC stuff from now on. It's something I know, it's something I love, and so I'm just going to do it. I'm going to try and do it every couple of weeks. I'm going to try and get back into it. Like I said, I've been well busy, but hopefully things are calming down and I can get back on it. What I'm going to do is I'm not just going to do graphic novels. With the whole DC Rebirth thing that's coming up, I've actually pre-ordered a load of new titles, so I think what I'm going to end up doing is I'll do standard comic reviews as well every 2 weeks, if not weekly if I can. I'm definitely going to do the new Nightwing comic series because I'm very excited about that. And maybe the new Action Comics because I'm getting that as well. But we'll see. I have got a comic reviewed for you today after all this wait. It's not Days of Futures Past like I was going to do. It is, in fact, I was going to show you the book. Do you know what? I might just throw it up there. That's right, Kingdom Come. Kingdom Come is one of my all-time favourite graphic novels. The artist working it, Alex Ross. I mean, who doesn't love Alex Ross's artwork? Every page looks like a painting and the detail in there is absolutely stunning. I was going to sit and show you like the pages and stuff and some of it, but I figured, you know what, I've got this big screen behind me, why not throw some of it up there? Makes more sense. Then I can concentrate on talking to you about the story. Now, I don't want to spoil too much about the story because it's definitely something that people should read. But down in the comments, you guys are always good at commenting on my videos. Always with nice comments as well, which is nice. I can do these videos one of two ways. I can just go ahead, spoil stuff, and just flat out give you the story in a nutshell. Or I can just give you, you know, a brief overview to draw you in and for you to check out the comic yourself. I'm going to do that with this one because I think it's something that everyone should read. But let me know if that's how you'd like me to proceed, just to give you a brief overview of whether or not it's a comic you should check out, or whether you do just want me to do a massive breakdown of it, about what happens in it and where it goes. But for now, let's talk about Kingdom Come. Kingdom Come is set in the future, probably a good 30 years in the future. It's gotten to the point where all the old guard of the Justice League, they're old, they've had their time, and most of them have retired. However, their offspring, essentially, have gone crazy. There's so many metahumans in the world that the whole idea of supervillains has just gone out the window because they're just like, there's been so many metahumans now, they've just taken them and gotten rid of all of the supervillains. But now, to appease themselves, they end up just fighting amongst themselves because, you know, they've got to do something with all their power, so they have Barneys. Barney's in the streets, which is okay for them but not so good for the humans that occupy the thing, all this destruction and whatnot. There's been an incident where Superman has taken off and he's gone elsewhere. You don't find out really too much about that until later on in the comic. But the whole premise of the comic is there's essentially one point that's going to happen in this brief period of time that's going to create something world changing forever. And so the comic is seen via visions from an old guy who he gets led through by Spectre. He gets led through all these visions, or really he leads Spectre through all these visions, and the whole point is they go through and they see different things from different times. And I'm not explaining this very well, but it's a very complicated story because they basically see all these different things that are going on. They do see Superman. Superman's basically just given up and he's gone to live in the Fortress of Solitude to just do his thing. Wonder Woman, she's not really doing a lot herself. Batman is sat in his Batcave controlling robots to look after Gotham City. Green Lantern sits in what is essentially a Green Lantern version of Watchtower in space. And things are just getting a little bit too raucous on Earth. And what happens is there's an event where a bunch of superheroes, or meta-humans, they're not even superheroes at this point, they're just meta-humans, attack Parasite, DC character who draws his power by touching other people and drawing their strength and everything else. But during it, Parasite manages to cut open Captain Atom, which creates a atom bomb essentially and wipes out 3 or 4 states of the US. And it plunges the US into a state of despair because it's all like Kansas and all of their sort of agricultural area, and it's all just been wiped out, and it's been wiped out, for as long as it can be. An atom bomb went off, for crying out loud. So Wonder Woman goes to find Superman to say, listen, things are out of control, we need to get back to it, and we need to sort this out. We need to fix all what's going on out there. We need to stop all these metahumans just having all these fights all the time because they're just ruining the planet. And Superman's like, well, I tried, but we'll see. He comes back. And then him and a bunch of other superheroes, they come in and they start rounding up all these meta-humans that are just doing whatever they want to do. They're not really goodies, they're not really baddies, they're just doing what they want to do. And he's like, look, you can either join us, or, essentially join us. That's your only choice. Meanwhile, while that's going on, old Bruce Wayne, he's not convinced that Superman's got the right idea. So he's gone round with Black Canary, Blue Beetle and Green Arrow. Not as themselves, kind of as their older versions of themselves, so Oliver Queen, Dinah Lance and Ted Cord. And he's like, I'm not sure that's the way to play this. I think we need to play the long game, in that we need to cut this down slowly and surely. And Superman's like, no, it's all or nothing. And Batman's like, well, it's not all or nothing, is it? So basically, I don't want to give too much away, because that's the premise of the story. It's just like Superman ends up rounding up all these metahumans with the help of other people and putting them in a massive prison. Just a huge prison. And Lex Luthor is involved in a plot to basically ignite the powder keg that is this prison full of metahumans, to wipe out the superheroes and basically for the world to turn on them. Because that's all Lex Luthor ever did, is he just wants the world to turn on them, to go, what's right? And he takes control. There's some interesting takes on it. There's some interesting plot developments through it. There's one character that you don't realise who he is until about 3/4 of the way through the book, and he's very, very key. Not going to say too much more about the story. Basically, you end up with Superman and most of the original Justice League taking down metahumans, while Batman is trying to do it in a completely different way, and Lex Luthor is trying to make it all go horribly, horribly, horribly wrong because he's got an ace in the hole. Now, I'm not going to tell you what that is, and I'm not going to tell you what the outcome is. I'm not going to tell you what the outcome of the entire story is, because it's definitely one to read. But what I would say is, it's an incredible read. It's a true humanising story, especially for someone like Superman, who is essentially a god on Earth. A lot of people have their issues with Superman because he's too powerful, and this brings into question a lot of that, and a lot of the difference between, you know, God and man, essentially, and who should be in charge. And that's what it throws into balance, because Batman's like, well, I don't think the superheroes should be in charge. And Superman's like, well, I think they should. We've got a, not in a, like, we must be in charge because we're superheroes, but it's like, we're the ones that can make a difference, so we should. So there's a lot of that going on, along with Luthor being Luthor. All I will say is, if you get a chance to check this graphic novel out, please do, because it's beautiful, for one. It's a joy to read, and the story is incredible. As I said, you know, the artwork's by Alex Ross, and the man to make every single panel look like a stunning piece of art. I've got a couple of pictures by him, and I love it. It just looks like he's painted every single panel individually, like with such detail as well. It's just incredible. So go and check it out. Kingdom Come. The graphic novel's available everywhere because it's a classic. I think it's probably available on the DC Comics app or Comixology, or in, you know, any of your local, probably comic shops, I would assume, have it. But check it out. You won't regret it. You won't. You'll just be like, you'll finish it, you'll be like, that was awesome. So that's it. That's it for this this review. I hope you enjoyed it. I need to get back into the swing of things, and I promise I will. Like I said, head over to stackonline.co.uk for more of this sort of stuff and things from a number of other people. It's not just me working on there. We've got, like, I think in total there's 10 of us that add to that site. And if there's anyone out there that would like to add their own stuff to it, give me a shout on Twitter @LastSonJim, and see if there's something that you know you want to add to it. Come one, come all. That's what we say. Kingdom come one, come all. See what I did? Oh, brilliant. Anyway, I'm LastSonJim. This was Jim's Comic Corner, and I promise I'll see you soon.